Hey everyone, Chanel Wagner, your Queens and Jeans intern here. I am switching gears a little bit today because I'm bringing you a national title holders interview. With me today is a New Mexico cowgirl who is your 2017-2018 Miss National High School Rodeo Queen, Emma Cameron. Hey Emma, how are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Well, I'm excited to do this interview with you. I know Deborah's been dying to get our national title holder interviews done since it's the beginning of a new year. So we're going to start off the ball with you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your crown, or your title, I should say. I know you've been holding this title since the summer, but tell our viewers a little bit about your competition in Wyoming and just kind of what it takes to be National High School Rodeo Queen.
Okay, perfect. So the National High School Rodeo Queen Contest is actually considered an event with the National High School Rodeo Association. So queens qualify at their state finals through a pageant and then qualify to go to the National High School Finals Rodeo in July. And the last several years it's been in Wyoming. We are actually moving from Gillette to Rock Springs this year. And typically about 45 girls come to compete throughout the national finals. And then right before the short go, we have coronation, which sets you up for a year of traveling the country to the National Finals Rodeo, the National FFA Convention, and really, really great things like that.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of the stuff that you've been doing on Facebook, so we'll get to that a little bit later. But from my understanding, this competition is a really long competition. It's a little bit longer than most.
Yes, ma'am. So I think we actually get there several days before the national finals actually starts. And we compete in 8 judged categories, and our last judge competition is actually just before the first round of the national finals. And then we work throughout the national finals selling raffle tickets and working grand entries and things like that, almost a whole 10 days before our coronation the night of the short go. So it is quite a long week. It's so much fun though, and such an incredible experience.
Well, that's good. Yeah, it definitely sounds like a really long competition, that's for sure. It takes a lot of courage and dedication to be able to be a queen for that long in that kind of environment, for sure. So we'd like to have all of our national title holders present their buckles and their crowns, just to kind of show our viewers a little bit about what you get to win and your crown that you have. So why don't we see your buckle?
Awesome. So this year I was really excited that our buckles are round.
Oh,
cool. Silversmiths is our Silversmith sponsor for the National High School Finals Rodeo. So that's my buckle. I was really excited to see that, and I was kind of cheesy, but I was very excited they were round this year. Usually they've been square. So.
All right. And if you want to lean a little forward so we can see your lovely crown there. Oh yeah, so pretty. I mean, all of our crowns, depending on whatever title it is, are always pretty, but I mean, you have to appreciate them, that's for sure.
Silversmiths definitely did a great job, and I'm so excited. I still see it on the bookshelf in my house every day before I go to school, and I'm just like, I can't believe that it's in my house, and for 365 days. So I try to cherish every day because I know it's going to be a quick year, but I'm definitely grateful and excited.
Oh yes, our years as a rodeo queen fly by really fast. But this year going into the National High School Rodeo Queen competition, I guess was a little bit different for you since this was your second year to compete. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I went the first year, it was my first bigger pageant last year at the National High School Finals. And I went as a New Mexico High School Rodeo Queen, and I ended up second runner-up, and I won the interview and the written test categories. And I knew that I was eligible to compete another year because I was just going into my junior year of high school. So it wasn't something I had really planned on doing. But then about October, November, after those national finals, I figured this was something I had wanted so badly for so long. I had dreamed of it day and night for so long. And why would I give up the opportunity that was there for me just because I was afraid I wouldn't do as well or because of the work it was going to take to put in? So I did end up deciding to go back and compete for a second year. And there was definitely a lot more pressure and stress going into this year, just knowing almost the expectation that I had set from others and even for myself from the year before. But ultimately, with that came so much more support from my community and an incredible group of people that got me 2 nationals and 3 nationals. And looking back, it paid off, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. So kind of staying on that same topic, a lot of girls, when they go out and compete, they actually kind of get a little discouraged if things don't go their way or they don't win. And sometimes instead of going back and actually competing for the title again, they just kind of give up and quit. So do you have any advice to give our viewers?
Definitely. So growing up, I was always told, live my passion. And that's something my mom would actually tell me, because growing up, I ran barrels, and anybody that runs barrels knows it never always goes your way. And statistically, it's actually going to not go your way more than it's going to go your way. And so keeping that mentality, that healthy mindset to go down the road and keep trying. My mom always told me, this is your passion. Live your passion. It needs to become who you are, and you need to be willing to sacrifice for it and work for it. And if it's something that you are truly passionate about, that'll be worth it to you. So my advice to younger girls is figure out why you compete in pageants. Figure out why you do what you do, because once you have that reason and that drive behind you to figure out why this is your passion and this is what you want to focus your life on, nothing and no one is going to be able to stand in your way.
Yes, that is some amazing advice there. I mean, definitely take that in, girls. So we talked a little bit before we started this interview, and I kind of want to keep on going with this whole dedication and drive thing. So you compete in rodeo events other than just the Queen's Contest. And I know competing in rodeo takes a lot of determination and drive, especially holding a title. I mean, that can sometimes be challenging. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your rodeo experience and what other events you do?
So I grew up junior rodeoing, competing mostly in barrel racing. And then as I got involved in the National Junior High School Rodeo Association, I tried tying goats for a little bit, and it didn't go very well. So I stopped tying goats, and I do pole bend now. I took up pole bending once I started junior rodeoing. And then recently, within the last few years, the National High School Rodeo Association introduced the Rein Cow Horse competition. And I had always grown up showing horses in 4-H and doing reining and some stuff like that. So as soon as the National High School Rodeo Association introduced the Rein Cow Horse event, I started competing in that with the National High School Rodeo Association, and I'm finishing out my senior year with it now, and it's so much fun, and it's going incredible.
Well, that's good. I know I wish when I was in high school that some of the events that the National High School Rodeo Association has, I wish they would have had then. Would have been really cool to do that, even though I never did high school rodeo, so getting to listen to your story is really exciting for me.
Thank you. Yes, the National High School Rodeo Association has done so much, especially within recent years, trying to make sure we have something for everyone. So we have the shooting sports and the cutting and the Rein Cow Horse in addition to our rodeo events. So we're very excited to be able to really offer a full association that offers a lot to the youth of our agriculture industry.
Oh, yes, they do. So going along with that, sponsors are a big part of any rodeo, any association, anything and everything that we do in the sport of rodeo. And from my understanding, the National High School Rodeo Association and Queen have some pretty amazing sponsors.
Yes, ma'am. So I do. I have gotten to travel a lot, actually, with our sponsors this year to the National Finals Rodeo and the National FFA Convention, and been able to understand truly what they do for organizations like the National High School Rodeo Association and things like that. So I've been working with GIST and Cinch and Ariat and all of our incredible sponsors that truly make this possible and make it such an incredible youth organization for high school and junior high kids to pursue their passions and work hard towards something that is their lifestyle, but that they love to do and they're willing to work for.
Oh, yes, definitely. So from my understanding also, because I'm doing this interview with you, so I'm having to learn a lot about National High School Rodeo Association. So along with the association and the sponsors comes a lot of different knowledge that most queens don't have the experience to get to know. Because like myself, who didn't do high school rodeo, we're kind of a little blind to it. So do you want to just kind of enlighten us on the actual Rodeo Association, just kind of open up the platform for you?
Of course. So the National High School Rodeo Association was founded in 1949 in Texas. And there were some people who had been putting on ropings and things like that for high school kids. They noticed that the kids would go out to the arenas and practice after school and things like that. So they said, why not make it an association, make it a competition?
Mm-hmm.
And so they started doing that, and then 20 charter members of the association formed the National High School Rodeo Association, and it has just grown incredibly from there in years since. And now we have 45 states, 5 Canadian provinces, Australia, and we're looking at adding Mexico to the National High School Rodeo Association. So it has really become a worldwide organization. We recently changed the title from National Champion to World Champion at our National High School Finals Rodeo in acknowledgement of how broad the association has expanded, and it's something that we're really excited about continuing to pursue.
Well, that's amazing. The fact that y'all are growing and expanding the way y'all are is just completely mind-boggling, and it just shows how much rodeo is a part of our Western culture and our heritage, and how much people are trying to get back at their roots a little bit.
Yes, ma'am. And it really does speak to those sponsors that in traveling with them and working with our marketing directors and things like that, especially as rodeo queens, I think it's really important to understand what our sponsors do for us. It's more than a monetary donation or products or things like that. It really becomes a family of organizations and businesses that support each other in order to keep our Western heritage alive and keep people involved. And so as a queen, to be able to be a part of that and to help promote that and promote those relationships, I think is an incredible opportunity.
Yes, yes, it is. And promoting not only the Western culture and our heritage, but also helping getting the next generation involved is such an important aspect of it. And one of the greatest ways that we're able to do that nowadays is through technology and social media. But social media can also be a challenge to a bunch of rodeo queens. So you being a national high school rodeo queen, do you have any advice for our viewers about social media?
I really think of social media like a business, almost like a resume, because you never quite know who's going to be viewing your page. And with that comes a great opportunity, because so many opportunities can come from people happening upon your page and recognizing all of the great things you're doing. But at the same time, I really try to think of it like a resume and what I would like the world to know that I am doing, and how this is how you present yourself to the world. Just like when you apply for a job, you present your boss a resume. And so considering the pictures you post, the wording and the eloquence of your posts, I think is essential to who you are as a person, especially in today, who you're going to be as a professional and how you're going to be successful as a rodeo queen. I know at nationals, the judges did have access to our Facebook pages and our Instagram accounts and things like that. And for them to go on and see who you are as a person outside of being a queen is just as important as who you present in your interview or throughout the pageant.
Oh, yes. And I mean, I couldn't say that better. Social media is a big aspect of rodeo queening now, especially since y'all are having that as part of the competition. I mean, you don't want anything on any form of social media that isn't professional at all times.
Definitely.
Oh, yes. So, in doing this title and having this job for this year, along with that territory comes a great deal of networking and contacts and being able to get to meet people that you probably wouldn't have been able to meet without this title. Has being the National High School Rodeo Queen definitely helped you make some important contacts and networking?
Absolutely. So I have had so many more opportunities, even more than I expected, when I decided to run for the National High School Rodeo Queen. You watch the girl before you go and do all of these incredible experiences, but what you don't see is who you get to meet and experience the year with behind the scenes. So from sponsors to business owners and people that are involved in rodeo or used to be involved in rodeo or want to be involved in rodeo. Those kind of people, meeting them along the road, it's not necessarily publicized, especially on things like social media, but I think it is so incredibly valuable to recognize the opportunity that comes with that as a rodeo queen, especially when you're considering running for a title or pursuing a platform as a rodeo queen.
Oh yes, those connections and people you meet along the way, you never know how they're going to help you in the future, whether it's college or a job or just being there to help you out and support you. You never know who that person could possibly be for your future. So something else that we have our title holders do is just kind of give us a little bit of tips and advice that you use primarily through the year. And one of those tips that we'd like to hear from you is, do you have a favorite hair product that you just absolutely love, you cannot go anywhere without?
I do. Okay, so I really am not a hair person. If I can wear a ball cap, I am wearing a ball cap. So learning to do my queen hair has definitely been an uphill battle.
Oh yeah, it's always a struggle.
Definitely been an uphill battle. But I did figure out that I use this Kenra thermal styling spray that's heat activated before I curl my hair. So I start with that because then if my hair starts to fall during the day and I need to touch it up between an appearance and a performance or something like that, the heat activation in that makes it stay recurled. With that, I use this Big Sexy hairspray to finish my hair once it's curled because I figured out that if I use it before I curl it, it makes it hard, and so it'll make it fall. But I finish it with this, and then to do my wings, which everyone knows the wings are the hardest thing in the world to learn to do.
Yes, they are.
I use the Big Sexy Hair, the teasing powder, which has saved me more times than I can count. So those are the three that I use.
Well, good. I know queening hair is definitely challenging for everyone and it takes forever to perfect. So all of these tips are helpful. But do you also have any like skincare regimens or makeup that you just can't go anywhere without? Like you must absolutely have it with you.
So if I don't have to wear makeup, I don't wear makeup. And that's how I keep my skin clear. So I don't wear makeup to school a lot of times. You can wear like a tinted BB cream if you want to get rid of the unevenness. But if the more you can keep your skin clear and moisturized without makeup on it, the better it's going to look when you do have to do your queen makeup. And with that, I use Clinique foundation because it's thinner. It doesn't clog your face as much and it lasts throughout the day. So those are definitely my go-tos because I do have problems with my keeping my skin clear, and that's how I've figured out it works for me.
Yeah, and that's definitely what it takes is trial and error, listening to other girls and finding what works for them. And just because what Emma's saying might not work with you doesn't mean it won't help somebody else, or just taking little bits and pieces of advice from everybody and just kind of implementing that is what I found has definitely worked for me.
Absolutely. And it takes a village. You don't get here overnight and you don't get here by yourself. So the more people that you can learn from, it doesn't mean you have to take everything from them because everybody does do it differently. But especially in the rodeo queen industry, I think we're so great about helping each other out and giving each other advice. And the more you can take that and try it and find what works for you, that it really does work out.
Oh yes, and the friends you meet along the way and the villages that help get you ready and get you to a pageant are a lifesaver.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, has there been anything that I haven't covered that you'd like to share with everybody today?
I really would like to take this second to encourage girls to run for their high school pageants. The National High School Rodeo Association organization has a very separate kind of different pageant system, but at the same time, we'd really like to focus on getting girls involved in the America system and going on to Miss Rodeo America. And with that comes so many incredible opportunities in becoming involved in the National High School Rodeo Association. The opportunities and the things that you learn from becoming involved with an organization and a pageant this big are truly incredible, and my life is definitely changed for the better forever from it, and I'd really encourage anybody that's interested to get involved.
Oh yes, I mean, you can't say that any better. Trying to get the next generation of girls involved in rodeo queening is definitely a big aspect of not only Queens and Jeans, but it's also the aspect of the National High School Rodeo Association and any of your state competitions. Just trying to get girls educated and informed about rodeo queening and the opportunities that it presents is something that we all strive to do as rodeo queens.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. Well, I thank you so much for joining us today, Emma. It has been a pleasure to interview you and get to know a little bit about the National High School Rodeo Association and your title. And we definitely look forward to seeing what all you have in store for the remainder of your year.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, everybody stay tuned. The rest of our national interviewees will be coming up soon from me and Deborah. So definitely check it out and stay tuned to Queens and Jeans.